In the quiet suburbs of Phoenix, Arizona, in the early 1960s, a teenage boy with a borrowed 8mm camera and boundless imagination began filming stories in his backyard. He didn't have a studio, a crew, or a budget, just a passion for storytelling so intense it would one day reshape the landscape of global cinema. That boy was Steven Spielberg. And what began as childhood play evolved into one of the most influential careers in entertainment history. Over 5 decades, he has directed some of the highest-grossing and most beloved films ever made, from Jaws and E.T. to Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, not only redefining blockbuster filmmaking, but also using his art to confront humanity's darkest chapters with empathy, courage, and moral clarity. Born on December 18, 1946, in Cincinnati, Ohio, Steven Allen Spielberg grew up in a Jewish family that moved frequently due to his father's work as an electrical engineer. His childhood was marked by both wonder and alienation. As one of the few Jewish students in predominantly Christian schools, he often felt like an outsider, a perspective that would later inform his recurring themes of isolation, longing, and the search for belonging. Yet within this sense of displacement, he found refuge in movies. He watched everything he could: westerns, war epics, science fiction, studying how directors built suspense, emotion, and awe through images and sound. His first serious attempt at filmmaking came at age 12, when he shot a short train wreck film using his father's model trains. By 13, he had won a national competition with a 40-minute war movie titled Escape to Nowhere. At 17, while still in high school, he directed Firelight, a science fiction feature that cost $500 and played to a paying audience in a local theater, a foreshadowing of his future success. Though rejected twice by the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts due to his mediocre grades, he eventually enrolled at California State University, Long Beach, where he continued making short films while working as an unpaid intern at Universal Studios. That internship changed everything. One summer day in 1968, armed with nothing but confidence and a sharp suit, Spielberg walked onto the Universal lot and convinced a secretary he belonged there. He set up an office, created fake business cards, and began pitching ideas. Studio executives were stunned to learn he wasn't actually employed, yet so impressed by his short film Amblin that they offered him a 7-year directing contract, making him the youngest director ever signed to a major Hollywood studio. His early television work on shows like Night Gallery and Columbo honed his visual style, fluid camera movements, natural lighting, and emotional authenticity. But it was his 1975 film Jaws that catapulted him into legend. Tasked with adapting Peter Benchley's novel about a killer shark, Spielberg faced technical disasters, malfunctioning mechanical sharks, stormy seas, and ballooning costs. Yet these limitations forced innovation. By keeping the shark mostly unseen, he built unbearable tension through music, editing, and suggestion, birthing the modern summer blockbuster and forever changing how studios marketed and released films. The success of Jaws gave him unprecedented creative freedom. He used it not for vanity projects, but for exploration. In 1977, he released Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a poetic meditation on wonder and human curiosity. Then came Raiders of the Lost Ark 1981, co-created with George Lucas, which revived the adventure serials of old and launched the Indiana Jones franchise. But it was E.T., the extraterrestrial 1980, that revealed the full depth of his emotional range. Drawing from his parents' divorce and his own childhood loneliness, he crafted a story about connection across differences between a boy and an alien, between fear and friendship. The film became the highest-grossing movie of its time and remains a cultural touchstone for generations. Yet Spielberg refused to be typecast as merely a maker of crowd pleasers. Behind the scenes, he nurtured more personal, challenging projects. In 1993, he stunned the world with Schindler's List, a black and white epic about Oskar Schindler, a German businessman who saved over 1,000 Jews during the Holocaust. Shot with handheld cameras, natural light, and unflinching realism, the film was a radical departure from his earlier work. He financed it himself through his production company, Amblin Entertainment, and refused a salary, donating all profits to Holocaust education. The film won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, finally earning him the critical respect that had long eluded him despite commercial dominance. That same year, he co-founded DreamWorks SKG with Jeffrey Katzenberg and David Geffen, the first major new Hollywood studio in decades. Under his leadership, DreamWorks produced animated classics like Shrek and Kung Fu Panda, live-action hits like Gladiator and Minority Report, and supported diverse voices in storytelling. But even as he built an empire, Spielberg never lost sight of purpose. In 1994, deeply affected by the genocide in Rwanda and the rise of neo-Nazism, he established the USC Shoah Foundation, dedicated to preserving the testimonies of Holocaust survivors and other witnesses to genocide. To date, the foundation has archived over 55,000 video interviews in 44 languages, creating an irreplaceable historical record for education and remembrance. His commitment to historical truth continued with Saving Private Ryan 1998, a visceral, harrowing portrayal of D-Day and its aftermath. Rejecting heroic cliques, he depicted war as chaotic, brutal, and morally ambiguous. The opening 27-minute Omaha Beach sequence, with its shaky cam, muted colors, and realistic sound design, became a benchmark for war cinema and influenced military training programs. Veterans praised its authenticity. Audiences left theaters shaken. The film earned Spielberg his second Oscar for Best Director. Over the years, he balanced spectacle with substance. Catch Me If You Can 2002 explored identity and paternal longing through the true story of a teenage con artist. Munich 2005 grappled with the ethics of revenge after the 1972 Olympics massacre. Lincoln 2012 portrayed the 16th U.S. president not as a myth, but as a weary, strategic leader navigating political gridlock to pass the 13th Amendment, a timely reflection on democracy's fragility. Each film revealed his belief that entertainment and enlightenment are not mutually exclusive. Beyond directing, Spielberg has mentored countless filmmakers, championed emerging talent, and advocated for digital preservation of cinematic heritage. He played a key role in the development of modern visual effects through collaborations with industrial light and magic, yet always insisted that technology serves story, never the other way around. Even in the age of key, his best moments remain profoundly human. A child reaching for an alien hand, a soldier whispering "earn this," a list of names typed with trembling fingers. His personal life reflects the same values. Married to actress Kate Capshaw since 1991, he is a devoted father of 7 children, including adopted siblings from different ethnic backgrounds, a living embodiment of his belief in family as sanctuary. He lives modestly for a man of his stature, avoiding tabloids and red carpets and less promoting a cause. He rarely gives interviews, preferring his work to speak for itself. Today, at over 75 years old, Spielberg continues to direct, produce, and inspire. His influence is everywhere in the pacing of modern blockbusters, the emotional intelligence of character-driven sci-fi, the moral weight of historical drama. More than awards or box office records, his legacy lies in how he made audiences feel. Awestruck, heartbroken, hopeful. He reminded us that movies can be both thrilling and meaningful, that fantasy can illuminate reality, and that even in darkness, a single act of kindness, like Schindler's, can echo through time. And it all began with a boy, a camera, and a dream that the world was worth capturing, frame by frame.